Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so we're rip. Got the haters catch your feelings, get your hand up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up, weekdays, catch us live somebody, let's go.
Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. I don't know. And welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well. It is the afternoon. I don't know why I said good evening, but you know how it is. Some days you're on, some days you're off. But nonetheless, as you guys already know, we have been covering this case today. It's been a very Rudy Farias heavy day. But nonetheless, there's some new information that I felt like I wanted to share with you guys. And also, I'm also hearing through the grapevine that there's supposed to be a possible press conference. I don't know if it's true or not, but I wanted to hop on with you guys and tell you guys this piece of information because I thought it was very interesting. I find it to be very, very interesting. And, like I've said to you guys before, I got so many questions about the press conference that we watched. Not the second one, not the auntie speaking out thing. That was phenomenal. I'm talking about the actual 5-0 coming out and talking about their findings, or for this situation, lack thereof. Let's be completely straight funky on that, okay? But nonetheless, we are back here again because I wanted to give you this information. Thought it was interesting enough to, thought-provoking, interesting enough to bring up and strike up a conversation with everybody as a family. And also, I heard that through the grapevine that there's supposed to be some sort of press conference. Don't know if that's entirely true or not here in the next few minutes or so, but I have yet to see anything of that sort yet. Nonetheless, though, wanted to come on to the show and give you guys this information. So before we get into everything, hit that like button down below, crush it, scream it, make it scream out your name, all that kind of stuff. Send it past 300 likes as you guys start to file in. That would really, really mean a lot. And of course, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. All right, your boy's working hard out here in these streets, okay? To give you guys the stories and the conversations that you need for the day, the week, whenever you're watching this show right here. And also, please, hit that join button down below or join my Patreon. Okay, become a member here on the YouTube page, or become a patron. Okay, go to patreon.com/The Pascal Show and support if you can. Okay, that would really, really mean a lot. Anyway, let's get into this, guys. Because like I said, this is there's a lot going on here that has happened over the past 24, 48 hours, I would say. I know that there's been a lot of other content creators that have been covering this story. Excuse me. Covering this story a lot as of the last few days, over the last week, so on and so forth. But I did want to share this with you guys because this is still a wild story that I'm still wrapping my mind head around. Okay. And it keeps on getting thicker and thicker. It keeps getting wilder and wilder. The claims are getting more and more jaw-dropping and more heartbreaking. It's been insane. But we are talking about this young man. Well, he is now 25 years old. Okay. But his name is Rudy Farias. Okay. He went missing in March of 2015, walking his dogs. At that time, he was 17 years old when that happened. Of course, as of the 28th, if I'm correct, of June, he was found basically for lack of a better term, taking out all the dramatics, but he was just found outside of a church, okay, slumped over and in very, very bad shape. Cuts, bruises, etc. He was in really bad shape. He went to the hospital. That's when they were able to ID him as Rudy Farias. Now, what's really interesting about this whole situation is that he was missing for 8 years, but it's not like he really was missing. He was still living in his mother's house, living with his mother the entire time, literally hiding in plain sight. So much that as soon as the news came out about Rudy being found, neighbors came out and were basically saying, hey, this whole thing is not true because he comes over to our house every day, hanging out, chilling with us. We call him Dolph. So he hasn't been missing, okay? He hasn't been missing at all. So just to jump very, very ahead, go check out my this morning's show. I did a whole breakdown, big foundational video on everything just to get you up to snuff of what's going on here. All right. Quanell X. All right. Which I need to pull up that video here anyway before I forget. But Quanell X stepped a step forward. He's an activist here. He's an activist there in Houston. He had a very interesting and very revealing conversation with this now 25-year-old Rudy Farias. He went on to tell that a lot of different claims, a lot of things, everything from SA to physical to chemical A, etc. Okay, all these claims. I mean, it's heart-wrenching. You just go check out the video. Please go check it out. All right. But after this late morning, there was a press conference with the HPD. HPD came out and basically said, we are doing our due diligence. We are investigating into this. We're in the middle of the investigation. He is from the press conference, from what they knew, this young man was still in custody. I mean, he is a grown man, but you know what I'm saying. He is still in custody with his mother. He is still in that house, hanging out with the mom. But there's been a lot of information that's come out as of recently saying otherwise. Now he's not with his mother, but they did not arrest her. No matter what, no matter the amount of crazy accusations that have recently come out, all that stuff, it did not stop them from actually arresting this woman. And I still wonder why. Harm was done to this young man. They denied the things that Quanell came out and said in a press conference, okay, outside the hotel in which they were staying at. He broke down in tears. He was weeping while he was telling these stories, these unthinkable things that no one should ever be going through. And yet at this press conference with HPD, with the Houston Police Department, they were basically saying that this man these claims that he was saying have not been backed up by Rudy when they went and interviewed Rudy themselves. And it's crazy because there's a lot you can factor in, but apparently when it comes to law enforcement, they have a way of interviewing people, and that's the only way. That theirs is the tried and true way of interrogating any person that's ever been SA'd or a victim of any type of A. Right? Sure. So they say that when they sat down and interviewed him, he did not say anything of the sort about these unthinkable claims that Quanell was able to get out of Rudy. So it's a very interesting situation. Okay, nonetheless, we have already seen this video, the one I just showed you. That still is from a video of, again, unthinkable. That is just absolutely unthinkable claims. Okay. Now, he has come out. Quanell did come out, and allegedly he's supposed to be coming out with more stuff. Okay. I don't know if he is or not. I'm still trying to find out about that right now. Okay. I'm still looking around because I'm like, is he coming out with some sort of statement? Is he speaking out? I'm trying to find this just to see if he actually is speaking out. I have yet to see anything, but if you guys know of anything, please let me know. Okay. Just please let me know. Okay. But I have yet to see any press conference of any sort showing. Hold on. Showing. Yeah, I don't see anything right now. I don't see any press conference, but Nonetheless, I did want to share with you guys at least the article. Now it's been with the Independent. There's an article with the Independent, but of course it's been kind of summarized and rewritten here as well over on this news outlet as well. I'm just not signed into, or I don't have a membership with the Independent. Okay, but this activist, as you see in the title, he's doubled down. Okay, Quanell X is doubling down. Doubling down on claims that Rudy Farias said that he was SA'd, and of course we got to use these code words, but he was SA'd by his mom after Houston's cops said this 25-year-old never made the allegations and is now willingly back home following 8-year sham disappearance. Now, from what I understood, and before we go into this, from what I understood, or from what we heard from the aunties, I call it the aunties press conference because that was absolutely wild, right? Man, one hell of a press conference with the aunties, okay? But the aunties blew the whole lid off this mug, saying all kinds of stuff during their press conference that happened immediately after the Houston PD's press conference. They all sat there saying that Houston PD is lying, that they're making things up, that they're not even going and doing their due diligence. Why is the DA not pressing charges on this woman when she is being claimed of doing some very horrendous things? They don't even do their due diligence to check and do evaluations on this young man who claimed to one person out of confidence and probably because out of fear that if he didn't say it now, he might never be able to speak about it because this woman hovers around him so doggone much. He said, I'm going to speak this out now to Quanell X. He spoke it out. And I will say this, I'm not sitting here saying that I listen or watch Quanell X, but I'm telling you, someone who is a public figure of any sort, okay, whether they are controversial or not, do you really think that they're going to go and ruin their career or ruin their image or whatever, their persona, by going up there and saying things that aren't real? Risking it all? This man was quite moved with what he heard from this 25-year-old man. And yet 5-0 still has not done their due diligence to find out what's really going on here with this young man, just to see if his claims are true or not. Running tests, making sure that this young man wasn't SA'd. Do an evaluation on his mind just to see if he's okay or not. Nothing of the sort, guys. Nothing. They just say, "Oh, we did some questions and that's it. Now that the questions are in, we already know the truth, so we good." I don't agree. Okay? But so, and that's the other thing. Lori says, why on earth was HPD speaking about body cams and ineffective funds? You know what? I have that's a very, 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 very good question. I don't know. Okay. That was very random, unless they were trying to cover it up with something else. I don't know. It was very, let's just kill two birds with one stone type of situation. Yet everybody was there for Rudy. Everybody was there for the Rudy story, you know? And that's the piece that doesn't make any sense. But I digress, okay? Let's get into this. This is the article here, okay? But we need to take a look at this. It's so weird. And yeah, I mean, it could very well be just to muddy up the issue, but that still just doesn't make any sense to me, guys. You know? But anyway, let's continue. Let's get into this. Now, they are basically trying to push back on what Quanell said. And I know for a fact, this does not make Quanell feel 110% happy. I don't blame him. Okay? Now, hold on. Let me see something here really quick. I'm trying to see if there is. I mean, I don't think he's doing I guess he's not doing a press conference, if you will. All right. But we got to take a look at this. Again, let me see something real quick. Hold on. Got to refresh some crap. Hold on. What? Oh, done. So let me just check this. 2 seconds, guys. I'm sorry. Let me pull this up. Maybe it'll be nice to me. Maybe not. Oh, wow. It's actually being nice to me. Look at that. Of course, it's got to do this annoying crap. Hold on. Okay. This actually is nice to me today. Yes. So let's do this one instead, babies. Heck yeah. Okay. So it says this. Activist doubles down on claims. Okay. On claims. Rudy Farias, okay, was aided by his mother after confusing police denial. And it is confusing because it doesn't make any sense why they would show up with this, okay? It's just why they would show up and be like, no, since he says it now, after the fact, okay. And the other thing is, too, somebody else in the comments did say this. Well, you know, what if 5-0, I think it was Thriving and Beyond, said this? Why are they, why can't we think that maybe they're playing everything close to the chest because they're still investigating in this? What if they're actually investigating into this case, trying to find out the truth of what's going on? And I will say this, that could very well be it. Seriously, that could very well be it. They could be playing, 5-0 could be playing dumb. But I do feel like there's a way of telling everybody, we are not playing, we ain't dumb. We are looking into things and here's what's going, like, not telling everybody everything, right? But at least saying, okay, we are looking into things, guys, like, tranquilo, por favor, and let us do our job, right? That'd be helpful. But for them to basically slap down what Quanell risked his own reputation for sucks and is bad, because it does make it sound like Quanell's crazy or that this kid just lost his mind for 5 minutes, and that's ridiculous. But for the fact that they're sitting there just kind of batting this down, I'm not cool with it. But like I said, let's get into this. Let's take a look at this article, okay? So, a community activist. Bye-bye. Okay. Community activist who first aired claims that Rudy was aided by his mother has doubled down after a denial by Houston police. Quanell X, okay, who says he was in the room with Mr. Farias when he spoke to investigators on Wednesday, emerged from the meeting to tell reporters that the 25-year-old had described being hidden and subjected to by his mother, Janie Santana, for 8 years after she reported him missing in 2015. Houston police officials denied this account at a press conference on Thursday today, saying there was no evidence that Mr. Farias was actually aided. So, reached by the Independent shortly after the press conference, Quanell X said, I believe that Rudy is absolutely a victim. And I do too. I believe that too. He went on to repeat his claims to the reporters the day before while alleging that Mr. Farias had been instructed to lie to the police by his own mother. Remember again, real quick, remember when Quanell was making his statement? We watched it this morning. It's tough to watch, but near the end, he said she came back into the room after he confessed all of this stuff, revealed all of this heart-wrenching stuff. And as soon as she caught wind of what he actually said to Quanell, she was quick to go over to Rudy and say, tell them that none of this is true, that you're lying. Take back everything that you said. Quanell also said that this was still being recorded, that this was recorded on tape. So whoever has the actual tape, who actually has the recording, please make sure that that gets into the right hands. In fact, send it to me. I want to hear it for myself. And Quanell also claimed that there was another detective in the room listening to this jaw-dropping revelation. But I digress. Let's continue. So the kid was distraught, absolutely distraught, Quanell said of Mr. Farias, Farias' demeanor in the police interview. He went back and forth. He acted like a teenager. Then he would act 20. Is he 23 or 25? He went back and forth like a child state to a mature state. He went on to accuse police of trying to hide from conducting a shady sham investigation. It's all confusing. It's all confusing as hell to me right now, he said. I think they're re-victimizing this kid all over again. I believe he needs extensive medical, psychological help and treatment. I agree with that too. With all the stuff that's being claimed, if those things are true, man, does he need more help than ever right now. At Thursday's press conference, Houston Police Officer Chief Troy Finner confirmed that Mr. Farias had never actually been missing as his mother claimed. Ms. Santana filed a missing persons report on the 6th of March, 2015, claiming that her 17-year-old boy had vanished while walking the family's 2 dogs. An open police investigation into his disappearance continued until Ms. Santana said he had been discovered outside of a church in Houston this year, the 29th of June. Ms. Santana's account of what happened to her son came under intense scrutiny when neighbors emerged to say that they'd seen him around the neighborhood during the years of his alleged disappearance. On Thursday, police confirmed that Mr. Farias, or Rudy, had in fact returned home the day after he was reported missing, but that Ms. Santana maintained he was still unaccounted for 8 years. Houston police said both Mr. Farias and Miss Santana had claimed he was her nephew when interviewed by police in the missing persons investigation. So right in their face, he's using different aliases, different names, so on and so forth. Crazy, right? Both Rudy's mother, and Rudy himself gave fictitious names while interacting with various patrol officers. Okay. And this is obviously one of the lieutenants in the police department, in the missing persons unit, that was saying this during the press conference. They actually were talking that these two, the mom and Rudy, were actually having run-ins with police over the period of 8 years, and they were giving out fictitious names, falsely identifying themselves. And I keep wondering, if these cops were asking for IDs and whatnot, what were they saying? Were they giving out fake social security numbers, going, oh, I don't have my ID on me, but I do know my social? You see what I'm saying? Like utilizing somebody else's name and social security number because they might closely resemble somebody in their family. You see what I'm saying? It's just very weird to me. It's very odd. Okay. After investigators talked with him yesterday, it was discovered that Rudy returned home the following day on March 8th, 2015. Mother Janie continued to deceive police by remaining adamant that Rudy was still missing. She alleged her nephew was the person friends and family saw coming and going. So she literally said it was a nephew the entire freaking time. Okay? So Now, Mr. Zamora, okay, because he said being missing is not a crime. This is the investigator, the detective that is in the missing persons unit, okay, in the missing persons department. He said the district attorney had declined to lay charges at this time for making fictitious reports to police. And I see, this is the part that I keep looking at this and I'm going, wait a second, ain't that a crime? Ain't that breaking the law? When you're falsifying documents, when you're falsifying reports, ain't that breaking the law? Ain't it? And yes, reality, she had GoFundMe's up. She was scamming people out of their own money too. Ain't that breaking the law too? Ain't that breaking the law? Forget all the other stuff that she did, you know, for a second. Throw all those stuff out the side. Ain't that breaking the law? Falsifying identity, falsifying documents, shamming people out of money on GoFundMe's, fraud, etc. Isn't that breaking some sort of laws? So why isn't the DA smacking her upside the head with at least some? And of course, I get it that they're saying, you know, let's go back to it really quick. I know that I get it. Let me highlight this. They're saying at this time, they declined to lay charges at this time. Do you realize that at this time, this is the perfect opportunity for her to cover up her stuff, for her to kick rocks, for her to leave, to run, change her identity again, so on and so forth. And you out here saying, oh yeah, we don't see her as a threat. We don't see her as dangerous. We don't see her as somebody who could just fake or falsify any type of documents and whatnot, yet she has done it over and over and over again. The aunties spoke out saying that as well. This is a very dangerous individual. And what she did, not only to her own, not only to Rudy's grandmother, but also the things that she was doing to Rudy as well. You're telling me you're not worried? You're just not going to put charges on her at this time? She allegedly is not even at her home right now. Allegedly, unless she's back there as of the last few hours. But as of reporting this morning, she wasn't there, according to the aunties. She wasn't there. And Rudy wasn't with his mama. He was with somebody else as of this morning. Now, things are subject to change. But again, I just find it very interesting that the DA didn't even bother to slap her with something to just anchor her down. I find that very interesting. To me, this is a very dangerous woman, an extremely dangerous individual. But moving on. Mr. Farias, who was 17 when he was first reported missing, was considered an adult under Texas state law. Interesting. I thought that under Texas state law, it's 18 where you're considered an adult. Isn't it? Or is it different? Now, again, I'm not going to sit here and challenge 5-0 that is sitting here going, no, he's 17, he's an adult. But at the same time, I'm going to sit here and say this. That still does not mean that this person does not deserve the same type of justice, the same type of swift justice if he was a minor. He should be getting the same type of justice like anybody else. So it doesn't matter if he's 16, 17, 5, 35, 67 years old. It doesn't matter. If crimes are being committed onto you, if crimes are committed against you, the person who's doing those crimes should be seeing justice, period. So that's the part that doesn't make any sense. But moving on. Mr. Zamora, the same person that was speaking out, and the same detective, okay, Zamora, denied Quanell X's claims that Rudy had suffered SAS and physical A during the past 8 years, saying, "We do take all allegations seriously, and any new information or facts that we receive will be investigated." Police said they would not release any information about the possible SA of the victim and declined to comment whether mental health had been a factor in the long-running saga. Okay, they did not discuss a possible motive for the 8-year deception. Quanell X, meanwhile, called for Miss Santana to face charges. And I couldn't agree more. Okay, I could not agree more. Okay, again, this is a person that is extremely dangerous. This is a dangerous individual. You can't tell me that she is out here doing good. To me, this is a menace to society. To me, this is a person that is out here thinking about themselves and only themselves. And it clearly has some mental health issues as well. You have three aunties, three individuals, three relatives of Rudy that are sitting there concerned as hell, that have never seen him, did not even know that he was even home the entire 8 years that he was there, that are sitting there getting on the microphone, speaking out and saying on behalf of trying to get justice for this young man. Terrified and worried about his well-being. Because this, to me, is a very dangerous individual. Now, from what they said at the time of the press conference, Rudy was at a friend's house, one of Janny's friends' houses. And Janny is obviously Rudy's mother. He needs to get as far away from this woman and any of her people, her friends, etc., any of them. They need to get him as far away from this woman as possible. She's a very dangerous individual, and that's it. That's it. Little Patty, exactly. It shouldn't matter his age. He was a missing person. Exactly. That's period, point blank. There shouldn't be any argument about this. There should be zero argument over this situation. This is a dangerous, dangerous woman that was capable and willing to do these terrible things to this young man and continued to do terrible things to this young man, even after the fact. But let's see if this other article has more to say here as well, okay? Because maybe there's more in here, okay? So, so cops said that Rudy declined any charges against his mom, despite harrowing claims made yesterday by community activist Quanell, who said Rudy revealed to him years of A at the hands of his mother, who made him play daddy. In an exclusive interview with Daily Mail on Thursday afternoon, following the press conference, Quanell stood by his previous allegations and said he believed Rudy was in danger. He says, and I quote, "It was crazy to watch this press conference. The detective heard that young man say that she made him be her husband. The detective heard him say that she told him that his name is Daddy now, that she called him Daddy when she would," I can't even say this out loud, but I highlight it. He even said that. He said, the detective heard that. The detective was witness to hearing those words come out of this young man's mouth. Those claims. And now they're saying, no, there's nothing to really look at. Nothing to look at here. Nothing to see here. Chief of police claimed in the press conference on Thursday that Rudy and Santana are together, but apparently that's not true, because according to the aunties, he is with somebody else. but he is still, that person who's watching him is still connected to Janny. Okay. It's not like he's out away from her in safety, you know, in a safe distance. She still has influence over him right now as we speak. If he is still in that house right now. Okay. Santana and Rudy had contact with police since he was reported missing. Okay, we already know about the fake names. Our investigators are our investigations is our investigation. What officials heard and what they interviewed is what we attest to, said one of the investigators. Quanell insisted on Thursday that Rudy is a victim and his mother should be charged with a crime. I begged them to not let that boy in her custody. I'm going to try to help Rudy as much as possible. And I think the DA needs to press charges against her and that Rudy should be removed from her custody in some type of way. I don't believe he's safe in her custody at all. Rudy turned up, and we already know about that part as well. So Quanell told reporters that Rudy claimed he had been aid and kept hidden away by his mother for the last 8 years, saying she made him sleep in the bed with her while she was in a birthday suit, and a bunch of other things that I can't even say out loud without throwing up in my mouth a little bit. So Pauline and Michelle Sanchez Rodriguez, who say they are Rudy's aunts, showed up at the press conference on Thursday and told local media that they were upset over how the police were handling the situation and praised Quanell. They're helping her. They're giving her a head start. All they had to do was bring her in, one of them said. They're saying anyone can do whatever they want with their kids and nobody will do anything. Imagine that. Imagine that, y'all. Imagine that kind of world. You are sitting there. You're hearing about this. And the only result of all of this, I'm sorry. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around this because it still blows my mind that you got a guy. I understand that he's an adult, but he probably still in the mentality of whenever this started. Okay, the age of whenever this started, his mind probably stopped developing and is probably still stuck in that age whenever it started. And my belief, it started way before his 17th year on this planet, before he went missing. He ran away for a reason. He ran away for a reason because I think it was happening way beyond that, way longer than that. And I think that and of course, these are my own theories. This is just speculation station now. Okay. But at the same time, I do believe that this is one of the reasons why the father did what he did to himself. Not the brother, but the father, who also was a cop as well. So I do have my theories of maybe there was some really bad things going on inside that house. And I think the reason why Pops did what he did to himself is probably because he couldn't handle the what he was doing or what he was allowing to have happen in his house. Hence the reason why he is no longer here on this planet. That's what I think. But nonetheless, you got a kid that was in a house of horrors. Let's be real. He was in a house of horrors. And you think that by leaning over towards 5-0, leaning towards the law, you think that they're going to protect this kid, this young man. But because he's an adult, as they say, like I said in the other show, moving the goalpost, because they say he's an adult, they just put up their hands and step backwards. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't. Regardless, if you're 17, 6, 62, or 25 years old, you should be getting the same amount of justice as anyone else, the same type of protection. This person is in dire straits. This person is mentally and physically in bad shape. And if those claims are true, then the only thing I say is I hope they figure something out. I'm still shocked that the DA has not done anything. I'm still shocked about that. I'm still absolutely shocked. Yeah, Key Fiender. Goalpost was absolutely moved today. Totally moved. Can you imagine that? Oh, yeah, he just claimed all these things. No, but, he's an adult. So we're just going to, those crimes that were committed against him, don't worry about it. He's an adult. It's all good. He's an adult. When he went missing, he was an adult. Still, he went missing, period. He went missing. Hamburger. Nuts and Board, thank you so much for the 5. Amazing how the PD used the press conference to do politicking. Yes, they did. For funds for the department. Slime. Yeah. Ain't that crazy? Well, real quick, we got to talk about this really quick. We got these things that we're trying to do. We don't have enough funding for all the cars that have dash cams. So we're, that's one thing we're trying to make happen and all that. What? Why are you bringing that up right now? We're all here for Rudy. We're all here to talk about that. And you still didn't deliver. When we asked for you to deliver some justice and some clarity, some transparency in your investigation, you gave us nothing. Again, I will say this, and I'll repeat it. I know I'm repeating it like a broken record, but I'm going to say it. I get it, that there are certain things they can't say out loud right now. They got to play things close to the vest. I'm fully aware about that. Fully. But there's another part of it that just doesn't seem right. When you just say he's an adult, he was an adult when he went missing, he's an adult when this all went down, still, those things, it still doesn't work for me. Doesn't matter if it was in the bracket of this time. Heinous crimes were committed against this young man and are probably going to continue to happen to this young man if he stays under her wing. So you could have easily separated the two, made a court order to keep her away from him for a little bit or something, while you get a chance to really bury into his mind, into his psyche, understand where he's coming from, and really get the truth. Because if you're claiming that, she never did those things, well, hey, what if you waited for like a couple days, built trust with this young man, then interrogated him again, show him that you could be trusted. He might say the same thing to you like he said to Quanell X. But they're not even allowing that, it looks like. He went right back to his mother's clutches. And now he's being watched by a family friend or one of her friends right now. It's unbelievable, guys. It is unbelievable. Okay? But again, the family is very concerned. Obviously, they're angry because they believe that this is giving Rudy's mother, Janny, a head start on covering her ish, covering up her tracks, and all that. And if they really drag their feet on this, really, if they do, she can cover up a lot. If she really focuses on it, she can get away with a lot of stuff. Imagine this, if they went and did drug tests on him right now. Imagine if they did drug tests on him right now. I'm sure they find all kinds of crazy stuff. But if they schedule out a couple weeks from now, if they really drag their feet on this, and if these claims are true, and they just drag their feet and they're like, oh yeah, we're going to do a drug test sometime late next month. Let's just say, I know that might be an exaggeration, or that might be really the timeline. That gives him enough time to have all of those drugs out of his system, or a good portion of the drugs out of his system. I mean, it's pretty wild how much of a head start that they gave her. If they don't hop on this and attack now. Thank you, Reality, for the 5. They could at least charge her and hold her for the GoFundMe. They could too. So he can have trust in them. This is bananas. I agree. Again, this thing does not make any bloody sense. Snazzy Trinkets, thank you so much for the 2. DV laws are meant to protect vulnerable adults. Ha! Love that you said that. We're not even done yet, but we're gonna continue. If this had been a woman saying a father or husband did these things, law enforcement would not have allowed the victim to leave with the accuser. Liability on law enforcement. I think it's really interesting when we throw out the double standard. Like, this is interesting. If this was a young man, or if this was a woman, that kind of thing. In this particular case, if this was a woman, this probably be a completely different reaction. Like I said to you guys on the first show, talking about this, the foundation show, giving you guys everything, all the breakdown. We talked about that. If this was if this was a female that was missing, if this was a white female that was missing, she would have been found 8 years ago alive, and then the whole scandal would have happened 8 years ago. The shocking revelations and all those things would have been found at that time, and then that person who was doing those terrible things to that young girl, would be locked up right now. Real talk. And we'd all be watching the whole thing on Law and Crime, or on Crime TV, if they allowed cameras in the courtroom. We'd watch the whole trial together and go, yes, let that person rot in jail, and may they lock them up and throw away the key, right? It's funny. When the shoe's on the other foot, it's, oh, he's an adult though. He's an adult, so it's fine. Somebody said this in the first show too. Gabby Petito, of course, may she rest in peace, but at the same time, she's an adult. She's an adult. Terrible things happen to her too. Now, obviously, will they really truly get justice for what Brian Laundrie did to Gabby Petito? I mean, that's up to what they perceive as justice, right? The family, okay? But at the same time, crazy how quickly they were. At first, it was dragging their feet, and 5-0 was being really dumb. And then they started getting really aggressive, trying to it was 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I mean, it was like a month-long search out in the swamps trying to find this doggone dude. Just him alone. Let's not forget about Gabby Petito and trying to find Gabby, right? No stone was unturned. No stone was left unturned. Literally. This kid went missing 8 years ago. They looked for him for what? 6 days? And then it stopped dead in its tracks. But of course, the chief of police was like, well, it was still an open case. It was still a missing persons case for us. But did anyone talk about it? Was anything brought up? I'm just curious. I'm asking for a friend. Last I checked, no one was talking about it. This is the first time I ever heard. I mean, over the past couple of days, this is the first time I ever heard about Rudy. So when I see this would be a totally different conversation. if Rudy's name was Rose. And it's very unfortunate. And I know some people don't like hearing that truth, okay? Or some of y'all might think that's unpopular opinion, but it is the actual truth. There are plenty of men out here, plenty of young men, okay, that have not gotten justice at all. And they're of all kinds of races, ages, etc. But when it comes to men, it's a little different. When it comes to males, let's just say that, it's a little bit different. Okay? Unless it's like a little boy. You know, if it's a Quentin Simon situation, then everyone, we got to find him now, right? But if he's in his teens, maybe he just ran off with his little girlfriend or something, you know? Or in this case, he's an adult. It's fine. You know, these kind of relationships between a grown man and his mother is totally fine. He's an adult. Get out of here, y'all. Get out of here. Just disgusting. Okay? Just disgusting. Okay? I said it, and I don't care. Okay? So, boy, oh boy. Let me see here. Let me see here. So he is doubling down. He's obviously sitting here saying like, yo, you guys can sit here and say all that you want, but what he told me is what he told me. And he should not be with this woman. Period, point blank. I don't trust this woman. I think she's very dangerous, and I believe that too. I'm with him 110%. This is not someone that he should be hanging out with, period. Okay? Now, I am trying to see if there's some more info. So hold on, guys. Because I was hoping that he was going to come out and speak, hence the reason why we did this live. But it looks like that is not the case. Hold on. Hold on now. Let me see. Sorry, guys. Just wanted to make sure some stuff. Hold on. Let's see here. And the other thing, though, too, is that people are still claiming, or people are still out here saying that she has like kick rocks. That, of course, the aunties did speak out saying that she is that she's out there and that she's very dangerous. Okay. Or that she's armed and dangerous. Okay. But to me, I'm still waiting to see if there's anything more, if she actually is out here kicking rocks. But I have yet to see anything of that sort. All right. But this is a very bizarre case. This case is extremely bizarre. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else that's been put out here. Excuse me. As far as maybe a video clip or something. Because like I said, I have yet to see anything. Quanell doing something. Hold on. Oh, the other part that I found to be very interesting too. Hold on. The other part I found interesting as well is that when the aunties spoke out, they said something along the lines of that the photos that they have put out as of recently with him in the hospital are not the right photos. Right? Do you guys remember that? Does anybody else remember that? That they were saying like the photos that are out here are not actually the photos of him in the hospital recently. Those are photos that were taken in 2012. And that's the other thing I found to be very interesting as well, because when he was in the hospital, or at least I didn't see anything about him being in the hospital as of yet. He was in a hotel room. He was in a hotel. He was getting walked out of a hotel with Quanell X. Thriving and Beyond said, yep. Rudy's auntie said that. Yep. Okay. I'm not crazy. Good. But I thought that was interesting as well, that they're like, these photos that are out here showing him in the hospital, it's not really him in the hospital. But he still ended up going to the hospital at some point because he was found at the church, slumped over and in bad shape, right? And I agree, Christy. Okay? Christy Mao, I agree. If she was innocent, she wouldn't kick rocks like that. She wouldn't be running. Okay? She wouldn't be running. But she's out here, and as far as I know, no one really knows where she is. Last I checked. Nuts and boards, yep. Yeah, those pics are old. This is so heartbreaking. We must find a way to support Quanell so that he can support Rudy. Yeah, I mean, or I don't know. I'm not sitting here saying that. I'm not sitting here saying that you shouldn't trust the aunties, but at the same time, a part of me goes, well, I don't know. Out of just to be completely sure that the money and the funds are actually going to him and the efforts towards him, it should be an outside party, somebody outside of the family completely. I don't know if anyone is going to actually trust even family members right now. I know that I'm probably saying the quiet part out loud right now, but given the fact that this woman has a history of scamming and all that, I still am having a hard time wrapping my mind around the fact that the aunties, the other extended family members, all that, never, not once, not never wanted to just walk through her house, wondered why this door is always locked, didn't hear random scratching noises or random noises in the basement. How did she keep him so quiet for 8 years anytime people came into the crib? That's what I'd like to know. I think we all want to know that, Ish. How is that possible? Right? How is that possible? I'm telling you, and I said it earlier, I've been in all my siblings' homes, and I know them like the back of my hand. But never? If my nephew was missing, oh my Lord. But if my nephew was ever missing, any of my nephews were missing, one, I wouldn't stop looking. Two, I know it's crazy to think, wait, you're telling me that, what if he's hiding in plain sight? What if he's inside my own sibling's home, right? I know it's crazy to think that. But at the same time, it's like, you see how the mother was being treated in that house. A part of me would think, okay, if she's being treated that poorly, and we already know that our sibling is that kind of shisty individual, I don't know. I just be exercising every option. And if you know she has a history of being shisty, I don't know. You look those doggone things up, I guess. I don't know. You look into it, I guess. But what am I to say? Who am I to say? I mean, I'm just me, right? I'm just a guy telling a story, okay? But at the same time, I feel like there's a part of me that would just never stop fighting. And I said it before too, like the Bradley girls family. They never stopped fighting. They still have not stopped fighting. They're still trying to find those two girls that went missing 22 years ago today. It's the 22nd anniversary of their missing, of them being taken, allegedly. But they haven't stopped giving up. They're still searching. So part of me feels like they would be doing that same thing too, keeping that young boy's name, that 17-year-old boy's name and face in the back of their minds and in the forefront almost every day. So that's why it just seems a bit on the odd, a bit odd to me. Hold on, guys. I got a message that I want to look at real quick. Okay. Well, I'm just going to repeat this again because this is from I Am Legacy, because she's been following heavily this case heavily. So I did reach out to her just to be like, hey, is there any more information? Blah, blah, blah. So I did say this before, but I'll say it again one more time for you guys. But so obviously Quanell X did say, I believe that Rudy is absolutely a victim. He went on to repeat his claims to the reporters the day before, while alleging that Farias had been instructed to lie to police by his mother. He said the kid is distraught, absolutely distraught. He went back and forth. He acted like he was a teenager. Then he would act like he was 20. Is he 23 or 25? He went back and forth like a child state to a mature state. He went on to accuse police of trying to hide from conducting a shady sham investigation. And those are some damning words right there. It's all confusing as hell to me now, he said. I think they're re-victimizing the kid all over again. And he says, I believe he needs extensive medical, psychological help and treatment. And I couldn't agree more on that as well. Okay. I mean, this is, again, an absolutely devastating situation. And again, how Houston PD is handling this situation is dog water, in my personal opinion. Hopefully they wake up tomorrow with some sense in them. And I hope that the DA actually says, yep, we got something that we can stick to Janny Santana before she kicks rocks, or before she gets more time to cover her tracks, because she's going to do it. She's going to cover her tracks if she can. So if anybody has the digital stuff, anybody has proof of her, her sham GoFundMe's, etc. She's done many different ones, and she has multiple Facebook accounts and all that. It's insane. It's hard to keep up, right? But if anybody has any of that stuff, anybody has any of that proof of her being a shiesty individual, a shiesty con artist, at least, hold on to those things, okay? Don't delete those things, etc., because they could be helpful in the very, very near future. But I really do pray that we get justice for this young man, because he deserves it, and he needs swift safety as well. Not just swift justice, but safety as well. He is not in safe hands, okay? He is not in good hands, State Farm, okay? He is not. He's in dangerous water. And all he is right now is surrounded by nothing but predators. That's the truth. So I'm hoping that he finds a safe place, whether that's under Quanell X's wing or somewhere else where he can truly be protected. Because you got to remember, he is an adult. So he does need an opportunity to separate himself from his mother. And I say he needs to do that with the quickness right now. Anyway, guys, that's the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really does mean a lot. Okay. That's the information we have so far. But of course, if there's more information, if there's more stuff, Trust me, I will be on to give you guys the information. I do have some more updates revolving around the Titan submersible, which I'm going to be doing as a pop-up video here in just a little bit. So be on the lookout for that. There's just some other news revolving around it. So I'm going to be sharing that with you guys here shortly. So be on the lookout for that. Okay. And yeah, guys, I appreciate you guys being here. If there's any more information, any more updates on this particular case, we will be talking about it. I will let you guys know about that for sure. So please be sure to hit that like button down below. Send it past 300 likes before you head out. That would really, really mean a lot. Hit that like button, please, and thank you. And if you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button. Subscribe. Okay, we're almost at the halfway point, which is really exciting, of 97,000. We're almost there, guys. We're so close to 100,000 subscribers. It's so exciting. So please be sure to hit that subscribe button, okay? That'd be greatly appreciated. Anyway, guys, it is time to get going. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Much love to all y'all. I'll be seeing you guys in a little bit. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys in the next show. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.